That's good enough.
All right, what's the reinforced under? Yeah, it's an underhook with a reinforcement, okay? My suggestion is to build it, especially in the beginning, starting with this cross frame right here, okay? Now, when I have this, the most important mechanic to keep this functional here is keeping my head near my hands. If my head is not near my hands, that elbow can slip free, okay? All right, if I keep my head near my hands here, now that elbow, you see it has no joint between his shoulder and his elbow here. And it doesn't take a lot of effort here, it just takes a lot of awareness. Because you're gonna find, especially if they're trying to retract from you here, if I don't manage that space, that's gonna happen every time. Okay? And so I've systemized the reactions in this. You notice I haven't talked about a leg position yet because this is potent in itself. Okay? All right, so where I get this? Let's talk about butterfly guard to begin with, but don't limit yourself to butterfly guard. All right? Half guard is an excellent place for the reinforced under. All right, it's definitely better than just flailing around on bottom like you're having a seizure. Yeah. So I would definitely consider this an option here. So if he moves forward here, pushing that frame in place, all right, allows me to maintain this space. Okay. So when I say frame, I don't mean my wrist. If my wrist is here and he pushes forward, what's going to happen here? What's driving this right here? Well, it's a tricep. Close. So the tricep, triceps aren't as strong as here, but my humerus, the bone between my shoulder and my elbow, is. So the closer I am to my elbow, the less muscle I got to use. Okay. So as he drives forward now, all right, the underhook becomes available, and then what should I do immediately, Parnell? Head to hands, okay? Because from here, he only has so many reactions that he can do here. Okay? And so that's what I mean by systemizing it, is that we have the Rolodex of reactions already built into our game. All right? The first reaction that I want you guys to get good at is extraction. Okay? When someone feels you binding yourself to them, all right, especially an experienced grappler, they want to undo the binding. And if I just sit right here, keep that leg on. But if I keep my my hands here, even if he pulls back and I try and keep my hands here, if I don't follow him, this is going to happen. And now I have to reset. All right. Every time you touch somebody, you got to make it work for you. All right. Resets are less scary, but they are. He's being real cute today. All right, so frame, reinforced under, he feels it, and he starts backing out. As long as I back with him, all right, the opportunities to attack are going to be available. Daddy! So I frame, all right, he drives forward, I reinforce, he tries to extract, and I'm gonna let him pull me up. All right, that's what they talk about in martial arts, is I'm not forcing him to do anything. All right, I'm reacting to what he's doing. He's actually the one that's pulling me up. He's helping me kill him. And you have to enlist your opponent in your fights, or it becomes a muscle-to-muscle battle. All right? So if he moves forward and I try to keep him here, and he extracts here, I might be able to keep pulling him here because he's kind of weak. You know what I mean? But if it was a bigger guy, oh, that would be happening. All right? So instead, all right, when he backs out, I let him pull me up. And as you can see, he pulls me on top of him with some wonderful controls here, okay? All right, let's start with that reaction, and then we'll move on to the next. There's 6. I think we'll probably only cover 3 today, all right, the rest of the week. Now, we record these because I have a YouTube channel, so you guys, if you miss a day, you can check it out, okay? So you can stay current, and I don't have to teach the same thing 5 days a week. I think Jim set me up a Discord so we can make it actually private for just us. All right, I don't know how any of that shit works. So
Knee, just look up knee hook Kirk Hunter. That's
Really?
Yeah, knee hook Kirk Hunter. You're the only one that does it.
Okay, yeah, it's true. But hopefully, I don't want to be, anyway, don't share with your friends because, just because. All right, so let's do this. Let's get the reinforced under and follow them up. If you don't understand what's going on here, bear with me and do it anyway. This will have implications in the future.
Sweaty
Yeah.
Caucasian man.
Sooner than you think.
You sweaty Caucasian man.
What position we start from? Butterfly?
Kirk and I didn't even talk about it. My class led right into his.
It did.
Half the people
I was
in the
thinking
class
that
are still.
too. As soon as I came up, or as soon as I came, I was like, "Extract." We're there in class.
Oh, look at that.
Here, folks.
That's carried away, bro.
Cross face.
Okay.
Under.
Yeah, we all from the fundamentals class. You come up with the cross collar instead of the same side collar.
Like you say, you're up.
Just let them drive you.
You should come to Eric's class.
Coming up for
You didn't come to my class and you're asking questions.
I never asked that. I've never asked that either.
Did Parnell just ask what butterfly was? Can you
If he did, I'll probably just kill myself right now.
Can you beat him with that right
It's
there?
not my fault. He hasn't been here. He doesn't know what the guards are
He is
anymore.
lying.
When I blow my brains out, Parnell, I'm gonna
Hey,
look
where-
right at you.
Like that?
Head to hand. Yeah, now she tries
that same strap that we were looking at fundamental.
I was just gonna say.
They just suck. I'm not trying. I'm just
Do
saying.
that. Listen, a lot of the high guys, whenever they were lifting, they're pulling everybody out. Oh my God.
No, don't do it.
This is Listen, those guys were butt tall when they started. You have to have that control. All right. It gives you a will.
Your head there.
I've already started doing
If you
Don't do that either.
it's loose. You go to extract. Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Lock it there.
You know, if you actually train, you might not suck.
All right, guys, let's meet in the middle. We have to address something that's happening naturally here.
Butterflies.
Hooks.
They're not really in.
They didn't say that.
Both y'all do it?
He's lying.
All right, so extraction and elevation are two different things, okay? The good news about the reinforced under is that it's really binding, it's deceptively binding. So even if he brought his leg up and started to elevate out of here, as long as I elevate with him, I'll have a chance to get to him. But if I don't make it up, guess what's gonna happen, okay? So I have to respond to them different. So if he comes down and he's backing out without lifting his leg up, if he's backing out of the control, what he's trying to do is this, he's not trying to fully escape, he's trying to back out, recenter, and then drive back in. You see that? All right? So when he backs out like that, that's when I can come up top here. All right? Now, the second a leg comes into play here, it's a different response. Okay? Stop what you're doing, because now I'm not only fighting his extraction here, that leg is going to power his elevation. Okay, does that make sense? Now I could grind this out and come on top and have some success in wrestling here, but that's not the easy answer. Always find the easy answer. Go against your instincts. A lot of times the best answer is simpler and physically easier. So with that leg staring me in the face right here, as he extracts here, where's all his weight? Yeah, what's driving him up here?
His heel.
Yeah, why bring that leg up if it's not doing something for him, right? So he's using that leg to power out of this, which means it's going to be extremely available, all right? Which puts me right into what we call an ashtadharana. Okay? All right, one more time. Now there's a whole system behind the ashtadharana, and if you are interested in leg locks, you're at the right school, all right? my first suggestion is start to learn those positions. Okay? Don't mind asking the senior student stuff because it helps them learn. All right? So, I reinforce this under, bang. Instead of pulling out, or instead of just pulling out, all right, he elevates. All right? Hand to the knee, find that tendon back there if you can, and then pull yourself underneath, keeping that center knee pointed at his center line. Okay, so what do I mean by that? You see this knee? This is what keeps him from squashing me. Okay? So I'm here, he drives up, I grab the tendon, and I drive that knee between me and him so that when he tries to come at me, I have a knee between me and him. Does that make sense? Okay? From here, all right, there's a lot of options. All right, they're not all leg locks.
Julian, here's your underwear. Where you want?
It's not even underwear.
Wherever they are.
Shorts.
Yeah.
You want?
I don't know that part.
Yeah, the random match on Saturday. Who's gonna wear those?
Look, man. As long as he treats you right, all right? So I frame, I reinforce. If he were just to extract and stay low here, that's this answer, okay? But as you were finding, even in the drill here, they start to extract. If that foot comes up, man, don't pass the opportunity, all right, to attack him because everything you want is here. Okay? It's going to put you on top at the very least. And at the most, it's going to break his leg. Okay? And once you become proficient at leg breaking, you'll tend to gravitate toward it. All right. So add this, and then we'll move on. Okay? All right? If you don't know Ashigarami, ask a guy who does. Okay? It's a basic concept that they're teaching in fundamentals as well. All right? I'm super glad it's doing that. All right? All right, guys, let's go.
I have a question.
You know what?
Yes, question.
6 days a week, my guy.
Well,
What if that
you know, you
person,
said that
when
like
you have them like this,
a week
what if
ago,
they
and then you
fall
said that
into
like
you
2 weeks
and
ago.
try to stay on
bro.
top of you?
That's going to be the rest of the reaction. So right now we're dealing with the two ways that they're going to try to leave,
Drive up, that's
and
when
then
you
there's going to be
want
three more, or four more ways when they try to drive in.
Yeah, so like,
Okay.
if you got me
Sucks though. It's not it.
Good way.
they'll start coming up.
I'm just like, to me, I would want to go.
So you
That
got
would
your
be
body.
if the untrained person will come up you and drive, that happens. But someone who doesn't like that position will try to leave.
Which I think is where I was messing up.
Yeah.
I think that's where I messed up.
Personally, if you let me out of the ring whatsoever, I'll
Well,
take
no,
it.
because
Whatever I'm doing, I'd rather re-guard and then not allow you to have it.
so usually what happens is people start coming up, I can't hang on.
to. Yeah.
And I have to let go to.
You want me to drive up?
Yeah.
It makes
Remember that one?
Really?
They
So
can
like,
stay just-
it's not what we're doing, but whenever you
They went outside.
this one from standing up,
Yeah.
one of the things hurt people is get a burrito grip, and then you just go like that. So you just kind of fall in the ground. The second you push into it, spin over. It's like, it's way easier than trying to put down somebody bigger than you.
Makes sense.
It's weird the way they're doing it. Now, you miss it. Wonder where her 80% of the time. But wonder where her belt is.
Right there. So got one spike on it.
Coming back.
Oh, is that yours?
We'll kind of do both. Right, you'll get in it, I'll pull it back. That's when you want to follow me. If I post my leg to use that to come up, that's when you want to. Right, so you're kind of watching my leg and seeing what that does. So if I'm here and I'm pulling back, you're coming up close. That's when you go back.
He's looking up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was doing wrong. Because if you elevate on top of me, I'm trying to like hang on, pull myself up.
Yeah.
But if you're pulling it back, then I can literally just tuck the leg.
Yeah.
Tuck,
The inside.
because
All the way around to the head.
you're tucking away.
Yeah.
But they're pulling all the way over, tucking that leg. And you're just kind of coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, but you might,
Bro,
might
what
hold
do
up
you
on
think
that
it's like?
backyard. I mean, they are good. Rest on the hill, or bunch. You'll on the response. Oh, wait.
All the way around.
Fork it. Practice it. Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
Hell, don't break my heart.
At one point, Greg said he was proud of you.
I can't wait to coach this man.
You're not gonna do anything.
All right, guys, let's meet in the middle.
Eventually, one of these days.
Sorry.
Very nice.
Now,
Okay, guys.
One of these
now I
days.
know this
This is
is
hard. Look,
This is complicated.
guys, Aussies are considered advanced, okay? But really, they're not.
Too advanced for you.
But they're not physically hard to do, and they're so essential to somebody being on top of you. And Aaron's given the spiel if you've been to his class. He's absolutely right. They're just an easier way to deal with somebody who's standing over you, okay? And that's what he's doing, but he's doing so in such a way that it makes it real easy to get to that Aussie. He's trying to stand on top of you. People do that. It's an instinct to be above somebody and punch them. This takes that natural reaction and makes them pay for it. Okay? Fight ending pay. Alright? Because a good leg locker, if you get you an Aussie, just start tapping. Alright? Because he's about to go 14 different places. Alright. So, we've dealt with extraction. Alright? We've dealt with elevation. Alright? Now you get the guys who are kind of like hanging out. Alright? They're staying right in front of you. They're not going to the sides. They may even be driving in a little bit. Okay? But, all right, they haven't committed to doing anything here. So I'm here, all right, and he's not extracting. He's not pulling out here, all right? He's not stepping on feet. He's kind of sitting here and edging his bed, trying to see what's going on here, all right? Just because he is inactive doesn't mean that I have no response to it. Every response is a response, even doing nothing, okay? But still the most important thing that happens here. Head, okay? So from here, all I'm going to do is on the same side as I have this structure I've built, I'm going to kick his knee. Now you're going to find one of two things. One, the knee will go back, all right? Or the knee will not go back, all right? Either way is fine. Because what I'm doing here is I'm pushing and pulling at the same time, so even if his knee doesn't go back and he goes forward, the job gets done here. All right? What I'm using to drive this over, I'm not trying to hook with this right leg. I'm actually using that leg to post and drive him over this way because it gives me more power that way. As you can see in a fight, this is an excellent position to end up in. All right? In jiu-jitsu too. All right, I like mount. Frame, he's kind of chilling. Maybe he's driving a little bit here, okay? But he hasn't committed his hips to over the sides. All right, foot down by the knee. If it's up by the hips, it's going to take more juice. All right, down by the knee, all right, and I'm going to push. Now, even if he, like some people don't like that push and he'll straighten that leg out, oh man. Now, if I sit here and go, man, I got to push. I don't. He's moved the post already. You see that? I can just come on top. Anyway, he's done the work for me. Just because I wasn't able to kick, all right, doesn't mean I couldn't tilt him. Look at him as a table with 4 legs, all right? I've got one leg trapped. I'm about to kick out the second leg, and what happens to a table if I take out the legs on the same side? They're gonna fall, okay? Same thing with a person, all right? Now the next thing that you'll have to worry about here, you'll get weirded out. You're like, God, I can't get him over, but his hand or his elbow will be blocking the sweep here. Put your hand on the ground. You'll be like, oh God, I can't kick his leg. It's not it, it's the arm. Oh, move the arm and just come on top. Okay? Very reliable sweep. Head to hand, stay tight. He's not extracted. Or maybe he started to and then drove back in. Make sense? Okay? That's our third reaction, and it's from him staying lined up. His spine is still straight in front of you, okay? He's not extracting, he's not elevating. He could be driving in a little bit, but he's just trying to kind of squash you, okay? When the hips jump to the side, that's when things are gonna change a little bit, and it gets really interesting, all right? But if we get this right, then we'll move into one of those, all right? And you'll like it. All right, let's go. I play music, y'all, but my phone is being used for filming.
Yeah. For all your fundamental people, same thing y'all been doing, it's just more advanced.
It's all the
It's just the more advanced version of the gripping.
Just more advanced than
Yeah, no DC.
The only difference is instead of collar
Okay,
cover,
that's-
you got a reinforced
that's
collar.
reinforced.
You're using that to
Which
take
is
the
more-
post
Yeah,
away.
because you can't always count on it like that collar tie.
Yeah, collar tie and over is this.
It's great if you can,
To take
but that's only if like they're really aggressive
Right.
and then you're
That's
like.
the irony. If you hear these controls and no gi, your gi becomes more.
Post is gone. So
I've noticed like easily.
Dude, now I can do the same thing just by grabbing this and.
I've noticed like, you know, like this what is it, that takedown where you get the collar collar.
Wrong direction.
the only difference is you want to use this one.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of fucking chill.
Your instinct is actually to grab that.
Oh, get rid of that side. Keeping it to that side. Oh,
You don't need to do anything
Probably shouldn't have done that.
I'm trying to figure out what they can and can't do.
If you use DOA, it's only if
Yeah,
you can't attack. You know, Sam or Jerry is trying to take
No,
it
before you
go a long way around the path.
You break the motion up too much and end up here, right, you still got the reinforced under, but it takes a lot more. You also find yourself down, your legs start to come down. I can start passing, and I gotta be like, start working on that.
There is a nice path in 50.
I go,
Can you go 50 up in your division? I'll tell you.
They're out of that before you kick the soon as you're, they're flattened out, so you're also flattened. And then,
That's the problem, as much as I wanna just like take it down.
it's just a little more. I tried
Yeah,
to.
the rule set is gonna make it where a lot of the stuff we're doing here is gonna be, but this right here that we're doing, this is.
So what is it? So
I tend to want to always do this one.
All of the.
Don't let it touch the ground. Don't let it touch.
so now, once you get that sweet, try to hang off the corner. The leg.
Stay straightforward. Look, it will, in real life, it actually will change, but you have to have all of
I
it.
was trying to roll as well.
I got that hand up and then.
He's always a little harder to do it. It's a little easier. Cause if I'm coming this way,
You roll up that hand,
For some reason,
pull that hand up,
I'm tending to start the roll before I ever kick.
even, like you said, you know, if I'm just trying to, if I start trying to pull back away, right? So you posted that foot on the knee.
Yeah, we're
And I'm
taking the
here,
post away for
right?
all of
So
them.
all you gotta do is start pulling it back while you're pushing with that knee.
That's the only thing I know. Literally the only thing. Side on board.
Didn't work, did it?
I don't even realize.
You don't
Start
even
with
like-
seatbelt always. When you go, yeah. You gotta get that foot over the arm. Yeah. Start with seatbelt. What you're doing when you're on the top
You just said
If you
that.
can kick that
is
leg,
that on.
because it fucking sucks from here.
Is that
You kick the leg. Right?
Keep drilling.
So have hands there first.
Drilling.
You're
So I gotta
just
worry
losing
about-
control
All I
here.
had to do
It goes
was
back
win.
top. Boom. But if I keep my hands connected, now I can start to hand my hands off here to my feet. You see how I did that? To the point where it's one on one and then bang. All the way up. Alright, so. Alright guys, let's move on a little bit. I'm gonna kind of breeze over these because the rest of the week.
Why use your arms for
kneeing through the crotch is what she was showing.
If you can. Yeah, I mean, with the kids, you might, but as long as you get knee and butt at least, okay? All right. No, it seems like, okay, so we're breezing through this. The rest of the week, we're gonna actually detail some of the reactions that you get from this position, and from different places, like from,
It's Alex has been like that for like over.
yeah.
He did the vampire cover.
Did he?
So, yeah, he
That's
probably
good.
did.
That's good.
Good on you,
I think
Flash.
it's too much water slide.
Good job, buddy.
His eyes are so puffy.
Too much water slide. There's no
His
such
eyes are
thing.
still
There's no such thing as that.
I think that was the thing.
That's only in communist countries. That's not here.
Yeah.
This is the United States. There's
All
not
right.
too much water slide.
So we've dealt with the runner, okay? Follow him out. All right, we dealt with the guy who's standing, all right? I leg lock it, all right? The guy who's kind of like, I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna kind of keep the status quo going. I might even drive a little bit, but I'm gonna stay straight on. We'll try. Even if he gets me flat here, guys, all right? If I keep the post from being able to touch the ground here, I get to come on top. Pretty valuable sweep, all right? Now, as they get better, guys are going to try to do a couple other things, and that is jump to the sides and get past. And that way, what happens when he does that? Let's say he jumps to his left, okay? Is that now, even if I try to sweep him here, he's got posts everywhere that he can kind of angle around. Does that make sense? And it looks like I'm really in an inferior position here, but in reality, that couldn't be further from the truth. All right? So remember, it's a reinforced underhook. So I'm going to use my underhook in this position. All right? Because watch what happens. It's really cool. It seems like, and what most people do here is that when he jumps to that side, they go, oh no, side control, and then they just let go, and then they deal with side control. But if you realize what's actually happening here, all right, he jumps to that side. Even if he gets me de-elevated here, all right, I have an underhook that allows me to come on top. All right, so how does an underhook work? I'll try to briefly explain it. All right, my underhook is this part of the reinforced under. And what I need to do is I need to turn my body to face the same direction as him. Okay? So when he drives forward here, if I stay flat, all right, that's problematic, okay? But if I bridge off my shoulder and I turn my hips toward the ground, then the dynamic changes extremely. In fact, to the point where I'm in a back control of some kind. We call it slump buster, right? Don't ask me why. And we drive forward and then we attack in that way, okay? They got a name, it doesn't even train anymore. But the name stuck. All right, so one more time. All right, it'd be the same thing. Let's say I'm in regular side control and I get the underhook here. All right, I'm turning my hip toward the ground, coming up. I'm predicting this behavior. Okay, that's what these things are. These things are his main options, and if I practice for his main options, then I can capitalize on them. I basically become a psychic. All right, so imagine being in a fight and he's only got 6 options from here. All right, and so from here, all right, it just depends on what he does. From here, he's staying kind of straight, so I'll probably flatten him out. I come on top. You understand what I'm saying? And so there's only so much that he can do, and all of a sudden I can now predict that behavior and have a response for it. Does that make sense? That's what I mean by systemizing the reinforced under. All right, so I'm using that underhook. Just know it's there if you're new to this. All right, underhook studies is something that Aaron will go over. All right, but it's a fundamental mechanic that translates into wrestling, fight, you name it. Okay, you have to understand it to get it. But for now, just know that if he jumps to the opposite side of your structure, all right, if his hips come over here, you're going to come up in an underhook. Okay? All right, let's do it. You guys are doing really good, actually. All right?
Get that? Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I don't know, I mean, this is all new to you, Mark.
Yeah, he tried to pull Asher with both knees inside.
Oh my
so-
god, I'm gonna miss this, I'm gonna miss this.
Was gonna jump
Yeah.
inside.
I'm sorry, what this is?
So I'm gonna be doing, we're gonna start the theory this week too.
All I'm doing,
You know,
Yeah, I would. That will.
Yeah?
I'm 30.
just the idea of what, kind of like I explained the occasion the other night. You know,
Very good.
Well, there you go.
Come up to your knees. That's the secret sauce, guys.
Like that?
Yeah, drive your arm deeper, come up to your knees. Very good. Shelby, that's exactly right. Now he's trying to be a kind of a dick here and go into a leg lock, alright, but he's gonna blow his rib if he keeps doing it.
oh, I started going for the headbutt.
Yeah, that would compress his rib. It would've- Come up to your knees. The knees, yes. And you turn a seemingly inferior position into a fight ending one. Exactly right, William. So if I use this 3 to 4 thunder, it's not unreasonable to think that I could end up in that position. You understand? That's why these little systems are so important to install in your game. Okay?
I had to read through the game, Devin, this game, you might start kicking me.
Ribs. I'll try not to elbow them too much.
Yeah, push you.
Am I going the right way?
So if he hasn't popped, okay, you got now, yes.
Oh, well, sorry, I'm really.
What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Drive forward.
Yeah, that's why I was.
Let him be elevated, like Mark said. But that's where you
Let's
want
see
to
if
be.
you remember your slum buster, bro.
Oh, it's hard, but it's.
Very good. Ah, excellent. Excellent, Parnell. Excellent. Excellent. So you turn a seemingly bad position into a really good one.
I always had problems with that, cause like, dude, always like, whenever I go to that half bar escape, it always drags me out. What's up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
If
where
if they
rotate.
collapse, yeah, if they collapse like that.
Yeah, like that. North, south.
That's right. If they collapse, that's the win. You want that. Alright? If they collapse in a turtle, you're like, yay. But that's honestly the best answer. I won't stay in turtle. I'll collapse and try to find my way out from the bottom up. Because that way I can face you. I never like giving you that. Even in turtle. Alright? It's just guys that are good. So in wrestling, they can turtle because they're trying to stand back up, but no one's trying to choke them or leg lock them or anything like that. And so it changes the game.
Punch them. That's
All right, you two, get the
Also-
drill in.
I know.
Also, the same.
Like two brothers.
It's called abs.
So you have your just rolling.
Yes. So when you break them out, you look at the seatbelt. Seatbelt turns into concocted. Okay? Jump. Very common. Get that head out of there, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna fall.
Keep your
And then
head
you can start
against center max.
pack the frames.
Alright? Keep it on the center line because it makes it harder to choke you. Okay? Very good. Okay, and some of you are starting to realize none of these happen in isolation. They're never going to do just one of these reactions. Okay? But if you understand each reaction, you've drilled it enough, you'll be able to compensate whenever they do change what's going on. Does that make sense? Alright, let's move on here. Alright. This next one is, to say it's advanced is an understatement. Alright? I'm going to show it. Alright, but don't be upset if you don't get it tonight. It's mainly for video posterity, so you can go back and look at it whenever you need to. Okay? And so we have the jump to this side, okay? And a lot of times you can force that jump to happen, okay? But sometimes when they're fast, they get to the other side, all right? This can go really badly here. If I just de-elevate here, all right, I'm gonna be in a bottom side control, all right? So I have to have an answer. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna keep my head to my hands, and when he moves to that side, I'm gonna put my knee into his face, okay? When I do that, I'm gonna bring my foot over, first on his hip, and then to the other side, okay? Put it in what's called an arm saddle. If I'm lucky enough to have this arm here, all right, it's an easy, you didn't tap it.
No.
Okay, it's an easy break here because there's a lot of pressures in there that's hard to see, okay? All right, reinforced under, he jumps to that side, knee in the face, hip, under, bam. And now, yeah, so I got lucky here and I got his arm free, all right? Yep. All right, and so it's really a bad position for him. Now, if I don't get that leg there, it can go south, okay? But if I built these reactions in and I put my knee in his face, then I'll be guaranteed to get that leg up and over, okay? If you don't put the knee in the face, he's gonna be able to hold on to that leg a little bit, okay? Really advanced. Just give this a shot. Don't worry about if you get it right or not. This is advanced, okay? And then we'll have the last reaction coming up, and that way you'll have this video to go back earlier in the week or later in the week and say, how do we get there again? Because I'm going to show you what to do with every one of these positions throughout the week. Does that make sense? Okay? Get familiar with this. This is going to do you a lot of good. This is the in-between stuff that we don't pay enough attention to. All right, let's do it. Yeah, again. If you don't feel like tackling this, that's fine. Do the last one again. Yeah, it's terrible, right? Yeah. Up and over, turn your hips forward. Yes. Now you got lucky, you got the arm. Break that shoulder right there. So start with your foot on the hip. With that, like your right foot. Your right foot on his hip.
Bring it over.
And that will help you kind of straighten them out. You see that? Now see the leg, and after that, it'll be much more manageable.
I was gonna say, I was
This one. Again, guys, this is extremely not be concerned.
Sorry. You don't even realize you're putting pressure on it. So it's,
Yeah. In this particular case, what we would do, it's not the last one, not the first.
That's why you're saying.
You follow that underhook up, you jump to the other side. Yes, yes. That's right. So that's how we got to drill this.
Yeah, I think so.
Bring your right leg to his far hip, and your right leg to his far hip, and your left leg up to his armpit.
Yeah.
Yes. No, the armpit, and it was not getting
Yeah.
That's what we want right there.
These two come in handy with the big It's all about pressure. It's all about getting your half guard. It's all about pressure. So what they're going to do
Honestly, that's going to be a reaction here. I would see
right, so you get the sweep, or they're going to jar on one side or the other. They know if they're going to go across, they can get the side.
I don't trust it. If I roll
That's where these two come in handy.
Okay, yeah.
Or jump to the arm side. You'll miss it. I think I had maybe one.
All right, so again, really advanced, and now the next one's also going to be extremely advanced. Okay.
And then
We'll just
you
watch.
do the arm
And we'll roll after I demonstrate this one, but this is for the advanced students and for the film's sake. This will round off all the reactions that you get. So what reactions do we have so far?
pull,
Pull, he pulls, he stands, all right, he stays directly in front of me, he jumps to the left, he jumps to the right, okay? That's 5 of the reactions. The last reaction is going to be more positional specific, meaning he's inside my legs, okay? Meaning it can be from a guard, it can be a half guard, it can be anywhere. And so we've been doing this all with the idea that my legs are here and not here, okay? Now if I'm in half guard, I have to kind of treat it the same way. If I have this reinforced under, I might be able to come up But really what I want to do here is I'm going to do something called the shoulder pin. All right, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring this leg up and I'm going to pummel my hand back to the inside to create a shoulder pin. All right, this allows me to control them, their posture very well here. Okay, all right, so if I were in half, all right, because he's on the inside of my legs, I could think about turning this into, all right, up into the underhook. But if I were in a guard or something, then I would definitely have to go to the shoulder pin. All right, so the shoulder pin from the rear under is going to be a super valuable asset. For those of you who are at that point, you'll understand what I'm saying. For those who aren't, don't worry. This is advanced class for a reason, okay? The shoulder pin is something that should be studied on its own completely. But we're using the reinforced under and dealing with different circumstances. All right, guys, don't worry about drilling this one. All right, what we're going to do now is get some water and then we're going to roll, okay? Those of you who have never rolled before, I want you to realize that it's sparring without punching, okay? You go for your submission and the other guy is responsible for saying, you know what, you got it. And it has nothing to do with your pee-pee size if you tap. Promise. All right?
I'm not the one that's in danger after fighting.
So,
I mean, I
this tap,
survived.
think of this as a laboratory, not a fight pit. Okay? The fight pit's coming. For those of you who train enough, you will end up in the fight pit. And let's turn the bro on there. But in here, learn. And if you can do that, I promise you, you will get exponentially better. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I wouldn't know yet.
All right.
Yeah, but you gotta show up for now. So like
No
actually
wrestle today.
progress.
All right.
I'm gonna get my water out of this right real quick.
Oh.
Take a good old sip of Mountain Dew before a roll.
Yeah, man, gotta drink
Get
these
some water
Coke.
and then we're gonna roll, guys.
No,
She wants to learn the shoulder.
Now we have, we got 2 mats. All right, so give yourself plenty of room here.
I'm already been doing stuff all day.
If you're into it, you don't have to roll, but if you're not, I highly suggest you do. It will give you some real life
I
experience.
thought you were running away from now.
Good job tonight.
I don't have to roll.
Oh my goodness.
You are not rolling.
Yeah, you're not rolling. You're into it, sir.